With more than 1,000 palm trees and a Caribbean color scheme, the facility projects a South Beach flavor that distinguishes Homestead, Miami from other major racetracks in America. It took a while longer to get the right combination for the racing surface. In its first iteration, the track had 4 separate low-banked corners, reminiscent of a mini Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That configuration failed to promote good racing and unfortunately also provided bad crash angles. Widening the aprons failed to correct either of these problems. After a driver death, John Nemechek, major reconfiguration of the racetrack in the summer of 1997 brought a more conventional layout, sweeping 180-degree corners at either end of the oval. Close but still no cigar, but the most recent work on the track, during which the track assumed variable banking up to 20 degrees in the corners, flattening to 3 degrees on the straightaways. It's done the trick. Everyone agrees at Homestead, Miami, the beauty is now more than just skin deep. Tonight, it's the Heart of Renee, Etsy 249. It's coming up next on HBR TV. Race details for tonight, 78 degrees, 76% humidity, a little muggy here in South Beach. Clear skies, 2-mile-per-hour winds. Track temperature 80 degrees, likely going to get a little bit cooler as we finish up the practice session and get into qualifying momentarily. And practice underway. Top of the board right now, it's Drew Blaze with a 32.93. Fast lap around this place. Want to point out we've got a couple of number changes tonight. Justin Johnson, he's painted up as the 10, but he's listed as the 17. There was another driver, and I already forget, maybe it was Matt Minnick Sr. He actually ended up with the 10. Not really sure why, because again, the league session, it is configured as such to give particular drivers a specific number. It's tied to their iRacing ID. The nice thing about leagues is you can kind of assign it, so it's going to be consistent. Nobody else can steal your number, but for some reason, it has happened. No worries, though. Race will still be just as good as we finish up practice here. Top 5 is Blaze, Millett, Hall, Sisler, and Blue. It's Short, Mike Fahey, Chris Goins, Justin Johnson, Ken Couch, the top 10. Practice goes out with a bang as we jump into qualifying. Only 5 viewers so far. This is a little light crowd for the Lonestar Racing Group. If you haven't already done so, maybe we should share the stream with your friends. Get everybody on board. Kevin Blue first on a Speedway in the Lake City number 54. Ooh, real loose out of 4 here already, coming to the green flag. That's going to kind of kill that first lap. Mike Fahey in the stream chat. I'm just here to see me wreck. Just don't do it in front of the 15, okay? I think we've done enough of that for everybody this season. Those of you that don't know what I'm referring to, it seems like Mike Fahey and Vincent Short cannot avoid each other at all when involved in a crash this season here in Lonestar or even SCAR, which has finished up their season the last couple of weeks. Kevin Blue first lap, 33.75. Top of the board for now. Matt Minnick, third quick, 34.34 for the 10. Meanwhile, Bobby Hall Jr. goes P1, 33.55. Remember, Drew Blaze was able to crack a 32, I think it was a 32.9 in the practice session. Justin Johnson, 5th quick for now. 33.59 was his best time in lap 1. Bobby Hall Jr. improves his time at 33.09. Good lap for the 94. Second quick for Johnson. He goes 33.37. Slides back to 3rd as Drew Blaze takes a 33.04 for his first time around. It's the second lap around, 33.046 for the 1. Good enough for the pole for now. Zach Millett out there finishes up his Q run, 33.151. No one in that 32-second bracket just yet. Chris Goins, the number 28 I-Lending entry into turns 3 and 4. First lap for Goins, 33.682, 12th fast. Matt Sisler goes P4. Goins way up the racetrack. Not sure if that was the plan or he had to chase it up the racetrack, but down across the stripe. Lap 2 complete. Does pick up. 7th quick, 33.394 for the number 28. Thomas Hall, the number 83 out of Flex Motorsports. Thomas Hall taking that high line. Maybe good for the race, maybe not great for qualifying. Let's see if he picks it up. A couple more spots. 14th quick, 33.744 as qualifying wraps up just as he crosses the stripe. Take a look at our starting grid here tonight for the Heart of Renee presents the Etsy 249. On the pole position, it is the 1 of Drew Blaze with a time of 33.046 seconds. Outside front row from Flex Motorsports, it's Bobby Hall Jr. Row 2, Zach Millett with Holler Boys Racing and Matt Sisler with ATRS Racing. Row 3, it's Justin Johnson. Well, he's got the 10 on the door, but 17th in the tower. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it for next week. Kevin Blue's going to start to his outside, the number 54. Chris Goins starts in the 7th spot. Matt Daniels is going to start from the 8th position. 9th goes to Jesse Redding. 10th goes to Sean Roberts. The Shenandoah Shine number 66. PJ Cox, 11th, starting in the 05. Ken Couch, the 08, starts 12th. Kevin Grettenberger, the number 57, starts in the 13th spot. Thomas Hall, the Flex Motorsports number 83. He rolls from the 14th position. 15th goes to Alan Duranco, also Flex Motorsports entry. Joe Tucker starts 16th. Mike Fahey, Lonestar Racing number 19, starts 17th. Matt Minnick Sr. rolling in the 10th spot. 18th spot in the 10. Again, we got the numbers all screwed up tonight. Don't worry about it, folks. We'll figure it out next week. He starts with the Team Carolina Esports machine. Chris Elliott, number 29, starts 19th. Bill Martin starts in the 20th spot. Bill Molfeld, the 911, starts 21st. David Ballard, the number 90, starts 22nd. Vincent Short with HBR, he starts 23rd. Britt Osborne, 24th. Chad Martin, 25th. Jonathan Arnn, number 43 machine, starting shotgun on the field. The number 43 machine starts 26th. It's your starting grid here for the Heart of Renee Etsy 249 from Homestead Miami Speedway. Going green here in just a little bit. A little bit of word here on Vincent Short. He is a little under the weather tonight. So many people are this time of year. Well, it's flu season. What are you going to do about it? But dedicated enough. He's out there still racing. Going to try and get it done. It's going to be a long race tonight. Now, keep in mind, Zach Millett is going to have to go to the back. He did get to qualify, but I think his wind penalty is going to have him start from the rear. Typically get one lap for the green flag here. They're going to go an extra lap trying to get this field sorted out, formed up nice and tight, 2x2. One thing I do certainly like about this league is they don't mess around when it comes to getting things right. Coming to the green flag here. Not everybody out of the pits nice and quick. Got to get this field 2x2, looking pretty for all the cameras. Nicky Short in the stream chat, cheering on Vincent. Nicky, try to keep him hydrated before this one's out. I think Nicky's in the medical field. He's going to pop an IV in him while he sits at his rig. Field working turn 2 here. We will go to the green flag the next time by. Short says he does have good veins. Chris Goins cheering on himself and saying, Fahey, don't die. Well, we're going to find out if everybody makes it here. Pace car's off. Drew Blaze inches forward just a little bit. And are off and running. I don't know if he's going to get a penalty for that. That's going a little bit faster coming to green. Put some space between himself and Justin Johnson. If they've got the restart zone turned on, that might nail him. As Bobby Hall Jr. a little loose on entry. Turns 1 and 2. Sisler's going to take advantage up the middle. Hopefully these guys can get through the corner until they get some tire temps up into these race trucks. Blaze out to a big lead here, 4/10 of a second already at the end of the back straightaway. Lap 1 in the books, Drew Blaze. Battle really is for the second spot right now. Bobby Hall Jr. top side, Matt Sisler down below. It's the 93 and the 94. Bobby Hall Jr. clears Matt Sisler, hangs on to that second spot. Not sure why, but it looks like Jonathan Arnn already out of this one. Don't believe Jonathan got a lap in, maybe some technical difficulties. Still riding on board here with Bobby Hall Jr. About a 7/10 of a second deficit he has on Drew Blaze. Blaze out to an early lead and maintaining it. In fact, starting to stretch it out just a bit. Bobby Hall Jr. a little loose on the initial start. Now we've got some tire temps coming up into these Goodyear Racing Eagles. Starting to get a little more grip underneath him. Martin in the back of the pack here in 25th. Ken Couch runs in the 11th spot. Everybody's just trying to get a handle for things right now. Justin Johnson has slipped a spot down into P6. Kevin Blue's also down a position, but starting to close back in on Johnson. Kevin Blue drops it down to the inside here. Thought he was going to make a move for that position. Can't keep it pinned down to the bottom. It's about two and a half truck lengths between himself and Justin Johnson, but he's got company in the form of Jesse Redding. Jesse was right to the back bumper before they got to the corner. Running about a lane up from the 54 as Kevin slides up the racetrack just a bit on corner exit. 3-car battle now for this position. Jesse hanging there in the 8th spot. He's already up 1. Cody Anderson in the stream chat saying hello. Hi, Cody. Hi, Cody. Miss you out here, brother. Jesse Redding running the Die Hard paint scheme. And just to confirm, yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Car in the wall. I don't know if Justin Johnson got a piece of the safer barrier there crossing the stripe. Nobody seemed to put him into that wall, I don't believe. Might just be a matter of trying to get up as close as you can to straighten out the corner the best that you can. We saw a lot of that last night at Five Flags, the super late model race, the Gulf Coast Sim Racers that we covered. Tough race last night, 28 cautions in 200 laps. Certainly not indicative of what you'd expect to see out of those guys. It happens every now and then, but we did see a lot of that. The cars scraping the right sides on the fence before they're getting into the corner. Much smaller racetrack, of course, at Five Flags than it is here at Homestead Miami Speedway, but I guess there's some prudence to doing it. Well, back out front, Drew Blaze still with the lead, but that deficit has shrunk. Bobby Hall Jr. starting to get a feel for the truck, handling coming to the number 94, starting to close in. He's shaved it from, well, just under 7/10 to just over half a second. In fact, last lap around, Drew Blaze, a couple of tenths off of Bobby Hall Jr.'s pace, but now makes it back up this time by 2 tenths quicker for Blaze. Deficit rising once again. Top 2, though, really stretching it out over 3rd place Matt Sisler and the rest of the field. Justin Johnson running in the 7th position. Kevin Blue did take that spot back, so he's back to 6th spot, right where he started tonight. Top 2, same situation. Of course, Blaze pole sitter tonight. Bobby Hall outside pole. They run 1 and 2. Again, tonight's really going to be about strategies, especially if we run long green flag runs. Certainly looking forward to that after lots of cautions in the previous race, but tire strategy going to come into play here tonight. Fuel run is about 40 to 45 laps. So keep an eye on that. Expect to see guys start to come down pit lane around that time. Mike Fahey running in the top 10 in position number 8 with the Team Rubicon paint scheme. Don't think that's a new paint, but I do like it. Fahey Race Wrap certainly does a good job on these trucks and other vehicles. They're not limited just to trucks. One of these days I may have him do an HBR TV paint scheme for me. I do my own paints, but let's face it, Fahey's better at it. Battle for position, Chris Goins and Kevin Blue. This is for the 5th spot. Goins is up top, Blue down low in the Lake City Auto Parts machine. Goins up top, the number 28 I-Lending Tundra. Goins way up the racetrack, going to carry a ton of momentum, but you do run a risk of scraping that safer barrier. Got Roger Pierce in the stream chat. Let's go, Bill. I guess I got to ask, Roger, which Bill? There's two. Chris Goins successfully defending that 5th position, at least for the time being. Trying to track down the 5 of Daniels. That's for the 4th spot, but here comes Kevin Blue once again to the inside. Good run out of 4. Might be able to take this spot. Kevin Blue clears Chris Goins for position 5. Goins now back to 6th. It's good to see Kevin Blue back on the attack here once again. We had him run a lot of these truck races throughout the season and honestly just didn't have the best of luck. Wasn't right up there in the top 10 a lot of the races. All of a sudden, the last couple times we've seen him here on HBR TV, he's really come alive. Had a good run going there in the Toys for Tots race. Now he's having a good run already here tonight. Moving towards the front. 5 in the 5th position. Working on the 5 of Matt Daniels. Daniels up top. Blue down low. Roger Pierce says, Bill Mulfeld. All right, we got it. 911 Garza Law entry. Kevin Blue to the bottom here. Daniels up top. Might have the position. Daniels looks to be running an old Dale Jr. paint scheme, but with a 5. Looks sharp on the truck. A little sacrilegious on a Toyota, but we'll allow it, I guess. Kevin Blue up to P4 now. Slowly but surely making his way towards the front of the field. Don't know if he just saved his stuff early on. Again, we talk about it so much. Tires are very important everywhere we go, but it does seem that Homestead Miami Speedway is almost kind of turning into its own, I don't know, more southern version of Darlington. Doesn't get a whole lot more southern than Darlington, but if you look at the map, yeah, of course, South Beach is much further south. The old tales at Darlington Raceway about they wouldn't even roll the tires down the pit lane for fear of wearing them out a little bit too early. Not quite the case here, but again, tire strategy still very important. Especially if we get long green flag runs like we have had so far. 21 laps in, no cautions whatsoever. Thank goodness, cross our fingers, we don't have any, but it's so very important that you take care of the tires, specifically that first 5 to 10 lap segment. Get them too hot, too early, too soon, they fall off a lot earlier. You really can't do much about it. You just got to ride it out till you happen to get a caution, if you get a caution, or till it's time to get fuel, which we mentioned early on, about the 40 to 45 lap mark. Matt Sisler next on the hit list for Kevin Blue. Sisler with about a 9/10 of a second advantage over the 54. It'll be a little bit before Kevin gets there, but we also see that Sisler's starting to track down Bobby Hall Jr. for position. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze is checked out. He's almost a full straightaway ahead of second place Bobby Hall Jr. Right on board here with Matt Sisler. Matt's going to go for the spot here. Goes to the bottom into turn 1. Side by side with Bobby Hall Jr. Not quite clear. Now he's got it. So move Matt Sisler to P2. So it's Drew Blaze, Sisler, Hall, Blue, and Daniels. That's your top 5. Then it's Justin Johnson. Zach Millett quietly worked his way from the back up to P7. Then it's Mike Fahey, Chris Goins, Ken Couch. That's the top 10. Millett closing in on a couple of spots. Justin Johnson and the 5 of Daniels. Good run out of 4. Millett trying to make a look to the inside on Johnson. Down the straightaway. Nothing doing there. Millett goes topside. Millett going the long way around up top. Takes the 6th position away from Justin Johnson. Down into turn 1, a truck length between the 315 and the 5. Both trucks taking top side. Daniels just a little bit higher on corner exit. See if Millett can do anything on the bottom here into turn 3, taking a peek. Daniels way up the racetrack. He might get a run out of 4 here. Good way to try and defend. Might need to pinch the 315 on the bottom to do it. Pass still not complete. Millett to the inside, looking for position number 5. He's got a nose in front, but now Daniels battles back with the run out of turn 2. So what's great about this racetrack here, Homestead Miami Speedway, is it's so wide, so smooth. You've really got a lot of opportunity to change up your lane, find a different way around. But interestingly enough, Daniels and Millett both, as they run side by side, albeit a couple of lanes apart, are starting to catch Kevin Blue here for the 4th spot. Daniels doing a good job defending that position, keeps Millett behind, clears the 315 again, now into turn 3. Continue to watch this battle here for the 5th position between Matt Daniels, Zach Millett. Again, Millett had to start from the rear, take the EOL, the end of line penalty at the start. It's a win penalty. It's not like he did anything wrong, but it's something that LSR has enacted here. It's trying to help even out things so that the same guy doesn't win every week. Applies to anybody. Doesn't matter if it's Zach Millett, Drew Blaze, Kevin Blue, Matt Daniels. Does not make one bit of difference. Win penalty is going to happen. Drew Blaze out with a almost 4.5 second advantage over Matt Sisler. Been caution-free since the start of this race. Now here comes the 4. Charging up on the bottom side here. Again, he's got fresher tires. That's Alan Duranko. He made a pit stop at lap 25, a long stop, 55 seconds, so he's not a lead lap truck, 3 laps down to be specific. Meanwhile, Kevin Blue starting to fall to the back just a little bit. Still has that 4th spot, but Matt Daniels, Zach Millett closing in. Good run out of turn number 2 for Daniels. He goes to the inside on Kevin Blue. So does Zach Millett into turn 3. Both the 5 and the 54 slide up the racetrack, trying to set up a run out of the corner. Brian Rose in the stream chat. Missing Brian Rose here tonight. He's on his 5th vacation of the year, Brian? At least he's tuning in to HBR TV to watch the race, but he says, we're going to let Blaze walk away with this, huh? Well, it's still early. Strategy to be played out, but he certainly has some pace. Meanwhile, Daniels and Millett both have cleared Kevin Blue for those positions. The battle now continuing on with Millett a nose out in 4th, but not for too long. Daniels edges back out in front. We've continued to watch this battle here for many laps. These two kind of going back and forth, exchanging their positions. Meanwhile, still being able to track down the 54, Kevin Blue, and complete that pass. Now they're starting to reel in Bobby Hall Jr. for 3rd. Daniels in the wall, scrapes the right side. That battle's going to end quickly. Kevin Blue's also going to take advantage and get that spot. Brian Rose in the stream chat says, check out my seat. I got to ask, are you an aisle guy, middle guy? What are you looking for? Window seat? Not really a window seat in that room, but... So through that exchange, Zach Millett is up into the 3rd position. He has cleared Bobby Hall Jr. Further down the line, though, is Matt Sisler. He's a ways out in front, about a half a straightaway between the 93 and the 315. Front and center, Brian says. So he likes his chin up to the ceiling, staring straight up. I can't do it, buddy. I can't do it. Lap 37 on the board, approaching our first scheduled stops. We're going to jump to a quick break. We're going to go side by side, HBR TV side by side, so you don't miss a minute of the action. I'll hope to be back before pit stops begin to commence. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the virtual Homestead Miami Speedway, the Lonestar Racing Truck Series. Heart of Renee at 249. We're 42 laps in. Drew Blaze has led them all to this point. Green flag stops just about on the horizon here. Maybe 2-3 laps. We should start to see some of these leaders peel off the racetrack and hit pit lane for their first pit service for fuel, likely tires as well. Fastest lap so far for Drew Blaze at 33.28. Last lap, a 35.42. So we're looking over 2 seconds of fall off throughout the course of a full tire and fuel run. Better tell that blimp to fly a little higher. Drew Blaze off turn 4 here, going to put lap 45 on the board. I would expect to see him here pretty soon. Next lap, maybe 2 at the most. Again, they did run an additional pace lap before we got the race underway. I know it's minimal, but it does factor in. These trucks do burn fuel, even under caution. Blaze on the bottom here. Does he peel off and hit pit lane? He does. Drew Blaze trying to get her woe down. All sorts of tail happy on pit entry. Looks like just about everybody else stays out. Maybe a couple other takers. Matt Daniels, David Ballard. Kevin Blue in the background there. Real loose, it appears, getting into pit lane. Hopefully got it woed down. Drew Blaze cleanly into the box. Right side's going on. Crew swinging around to the left side of the truck. 4 tire change. Sunoco Racing Fuel drops the jack and he's down and away. 14.87 seconds for Drew Blaze. Good pit stop. While Zach Millett taking his time to get down pit lane, as is Vince Short in the background. Expect the same pit stop for Zach Millett. 4 tires and fuel. Seems that is the go-to tonight. 2 tires just not going to work. No tires would be crazy. Again, 2 seconds plus of fall off. correction, 14.63 seconds for Zach Millett. Little bit quicker stop for the 315 compared to Drew Blaze. See how everybody cycles out. Of course, we do need to get all these pit stops done. This is where it gets a little sketchy. Got to worry about guys wrecking coming down pit lane. It gets a little hairy. Again, tires are worn. Got to be careful about the brake bias. You don't want to lock up the rears and spin the truck. Matt Sisler on pit lane. 4 tires and fuel for the number 93. 15.02 seconds for Matt Sisler. Not a bad stop. Meanwhile, Sean Roberts out in front. We're 49 laps in. It says he hasn't pit yet. I don't know how that's possible. I thought 45 was about the maximum. Same situation for Britt Osborne. 421 machine runs in the second spot. Robert stays out once again. There is an indication here that they spent 2 minutes plus on the pit lane, but with no pit time as far as the actual time in the pit box. So I don't know if that's just an iRacing miscalculation. It didn't pick it up. Hard to say. It doesn't count a pit stop for either one of these drivers, so maybe it's possible we got the field calculations wrong. Seems that everybody else pit within that 40 to 45. See, Matt Sisler was 47 laps. Vince Short, 46 laps. Looking at the lap times, though, 35:52 for Sean Roberts. That's his last time by. That is an old tire lap time. That is for certain. He's got a 19-second advantage over Bobby Hall Jr., but Bobby pit lap 39. He took 4 tires, so he's running laps. Let's see here, 33:22 is his best. His last lap, though, for Bobby Hall Jr., 34:28. So about 1.25 seconds quicker than leader Sean Roberts for the time being. Just hoping and praying for a caution that he can take that pit stop under the yellow. However, at this point, wouldn't be too much of an advantage other than the fact he wouldn't necessarily lose a lap. I don't know if he can do 4 tires and fuel here without going a lap down. Does have 17 seconds on Bobby Hall Jr., but that number is falling quickly. Roberts is going to peel off the racetrack right now, get to pit lane. Oh, loosen reel up, coming down to pit lane. Hopefully gets her woe down. So Sean Roberts pits from the lead, makes it to his pit box before he loses the lead, but he overshoots it, has to back it up. So meanwhile, Bobby Hall Jr. is your new leader. He's got Drew Blaze right to the tailgate of that number 94 Flex Motorsports entry. Bobby Hall Jr. trying to work his way through traffic. Ran a 34:01 the last lap. Drew Blaze, 33:74, quarter second quicker. I don't know if that's just Bobby taking care of his stuff for later on in this run. Again, we've gone a full fuel run without a single caution. Again, knock on wood. Let's keep it that way. And almost contact with Bobby Hall Jr. and Drew Blaze. Bobby trying to get by the 83 of Thomas Hall. Another Flex Motorsports entry. Thomas goes high side, lets the leaders battle it out for this position. Meanwhile, Drew Blaze takes over the top spot. Almost contact off of 4. Don't need to have that. Again, fresh rubber on these trucks now. I know it's been a few laps at this point, but they're trying to get tire temperatures back up, get the handling back to where they're used to. So Drew Blaze, your leader, after the pit cycles have been completed. We've got 16 trucks currently on the lead lap. Thomas Hall, the 83, right now the first truck 1 lap down, so he would be the recipient of the lucky dog if we got a caution. I say if. Let's try and run through the field, though. Right now, it is the one of Drew Blaze that shows the way. Started the race in the pole position. Through the pit cycles, worked his way back out front, was as far ahead as almost 4 or 5 seconds at one point. That advantage did get reduced a little prior to the pit stop. He cycled back to P1. Bobby Hall Jr., outside pole sitter, slipped through the pack throughout the run, but maybe that's kind of what he's learned, saving some tires, not battling guys too hard. Currently second, but about to lose that to Millett. Millett goes to the bottom here. A little contact, maybe some contact there, hard to say. Zach Millett, though, started from the back. Qualified third, but again, had to go to the EOL, tail of the field, win penalty before this one got underway. Worked his way all the way back towards the front. Probably burned up a lot of tire in doing so, but here we are. This is the second run of the night. Fresh tires on that machine, and he's up into the second spot. So all he has to do now is focus on reeling in the one of Drew Blaze, who is already out to a 2.5 advantage. Might be the night for Drew Blaze. It's been a while. He's certainly looking for a win. Kevin Blue still having a strong night. Started P6, currently in the top 5 and 4th at Lake City Auto Parts entry. Always looks sharp. Matt Sisler, still running in the top 5, was, I believe, second or third prior to the green flag stops. Still having a solid night in the 5th spot. Chris Goins started P7, currently the 6th place machine, the islanding number 28. New pink and black colors for Chris Goins. Mike Fahey, one of our bigger movers tonight, up 10 positions into the 7th spot in that Team Rubicon disaster response entry. Gotta say it more often than not. It's one of my favorite paint schemes as far as what he brings to the track every week. It's almost different every week. I don't know how he has time to do a new truck every time, but he does good work with it. Matt Daniels, solid run so far. Was up battling in the top 5 for a while, running that Dale Jr. Bud paint scheme. Started 8th, currently running 8th. Still a solid run tonight for Matt Daniels. Ken Couch runs in the 9th spot, the 08 Sim Experience Chevrolet. Up 3 positions. Justin Johnson, solidly in the top 10. Started P5 tonight. Again, it's tough to say, are these guys hanging back to save tire, or this is just what they've got, and that's what they're going to have to settle with. We still got over 100 laps remaining in this one, so we're going to find out soon enough. Vincent Short, running 11th, is our biggest mover of the night thus far. He's up 12 positions, just one shy of the top 10 currently. Started pretty far back in the field, I think just a handful of spots from the back. I think it was 23rd, I want to say. Track Bar Media Chevrolet looking pretty clean. Again, Vince battling illness tonight, but out there giving it his all. Jesse Redding in the number 21 Die Hard colors. That's the Toys for Tots paint scheme that they ran in their Toys for Tots charity race this past weekend. Some guys are going to run it out the rest of the month. Might as well. Why not? Toys for Tots, certainly a good organization to rep. Redding down 3 positions in the top 12. Sean Roberts got some laps led through the pit cycle. I think he went the longest out of everyone on fuel. Now, that may play a part later on. If we happen to go green to checker without a yellow flag, that could be to his advantage later on. The problem is him staying out as long as he did, the tire fall off being what it was. It's almost 2 seconds he was giving up every single lap until he came in. He was one of the last trucks to hit pit lane. So he gave up a lot of track position to stretch the fuel. Now, a caution would certainly help his cause. But still 13th here on the lead lap. David Ballard, number 90, Farmington Fire Rescue entry. Sporting a new Fahey Race Wraps decal on that machine. Might not be new, I just don't remember seeing it before. But David Ballard, he's doing good tonight. 8 spots to the good here in the 14th position. Also still on the lead lap. Then that's the other 05. Maybe it's the 5. Either way, PJ Cox running the Liquid Death 711 Chevy Silverado. Sweet looking paint scheme. I'll tell you, if you can make water look that good, you're doing something. 15th, lead lap. Joe Tucker, haven't heard a whole lot from him tonight, but there's still time. Again, plenty of racing to go. Just over 100 laps remain. Joe 16th, last truck on the lead lap. Always a good-looking paint scheme on this thing as well. The Lonestar Racing Mission 22. It's got Nueve designs on there as well. Certainly not out of this, still in contention. Caution would change a lot of things as well, but again, plenty of racing to go. I don't think Joe has shown his hand just yet, but those are your lead lap trucks here. Coming to lap 66 here from Homestead Miami Speedway, and it looks like Drew Blaze is going to put Joe a lap down here. So Joe Tucker, now your lucky dog candidate if we get a caution. Awful quiet the stream chat here tonight, guys. We got 21 of you watching the race. Feel free to chime in, say hello as Drew Blaze catches the 10 in a hurry. Almost contact there. The night that Drew Blaze is having so far, certainly don't want to ruin it. Getting into a lap car and ending the night early. They do have a fast repair. Everyone has one to play with tonight, but I don't think anybody wants to have to use it. We're over 1/3 of the way into this event here tonight. So far, so good. No cautions. Cruising right along here at 8:45 on the East Coast. Current top 5, Blaze, Millet, Blue, Bobby Hall Jr., Matt Sisler. Roger Pierce. What do you want to talk about? I don't know, Roger. Tell me a story. I don't know, man. Where are you watching from, Raj? I know you're cheering for Bill Mulfeld. I guess you might be a Tennessee guy. I think everybody in the race is really locked in, focused tonight. Every once in a while, I get some of these guys that'll text and drive, so to speak, while we're running the race. Not the case. Maybe that's why it's been so quiet. Kevin Blue up to the 3rd spot, still having a solid night. Great run to see. Battle here for position. Justin Johnson taking a spot away. Back up here with Blue and Sisler. Sisler closes the gap quite a bit mid-corner. Of course, my overlays are taking control all by themselves. Sisler right to the back bumper of Kevin Blue at the stripe. A little bit of a block thrown by the 54. Oh, Sisler drives it in deep, almost gets into Kevin Blue into 1. That was close quarters battling for sure. Kevin Blue up the racetrack. Sisler dives it down to the bottom. Gets a great run out of turn 2 down the back alongside Kevin Blue into turn number 3. Sisler might have position here to take this spot on the exit of 4. This is the game that we play. Push the guy to make a pass. Make him work for it. Burn up his tires. Pass him later. Roger Pierce. Yep, stationed in Memphis. Pretty cool. You say station, does that mean that's just where you live, or U.S. military? What do you got, Roger? Telling you, I'm going to laugh, and I'm not even going to tell you what I'm laughing at. You guys can pull the stream chat up. You guys can read it. It's no naked HD, that's for sure. Battle between Sisler and Blue is settled down, but Bobby Hall Jr. has been allowed to catch these two as well. Again, fast racetrack. There is a draft here. Especially when these guys get side by side. It punches a huge hole in the air and allows the guy running by himself behind these two guys that are starting to battle for position to really take advantage of that draft. "73 laps on the board. Believe it or not, we're getting close to another round of green flag stops. So we're going to take a break. We're going to go HBR TV side by side once again. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Pit stops already underway. Some early takers here, Bobby Hall Jr. being one of them. Again, we talked about the fall off of these Goodyear Racing Eagles. This might be an opportunity to drag some other trucks down pit lane, kind of pull them here a little bit early. Bobby Hall Jr. is going to come out here. Looks like the 15th position. He was running up in that top 3. Car in the wall. David Ballard just scrapes the right sides. Continue on, no caution. Just a handful of laps away from the halfway point. So, I'll use a little bit of road racing terminology here and what Bobby Hall Jr. is trying to do. And I could be wrong in how I describe it, even though I'm a road guy. Sometimes even I make those mistakes. But the undercut, essentially, I think is what Bobby Hall Jr. is trying to do here. Get to pit lane before the leader does. Get some track position gained back simply by being faster on the fresher rubber. Sometimes that'll drag the leader right down pit lane, which really could go against the initial strategy that some of the faster trucks towards the front of the field might be trying to work with. Which even that in itself can be part of the strategy. Just trying to throw off the strategy of the guys up front. Do something a little bit different. Maybe gamble a little bit. Maybe the caution comes out. And Bobby Hall Jr. certainly does not want that right now, as he does run a lap down. Caution comes out now. He's not the first truck one lap down, so that could pose a problem. As clean as we have been, without a single yellow thus far, you get trapped a lap down from that one caution. It might be the only one you see all night. So you're not going to get that chance for a lucky dog. So he's going to have to make up some laps here, or some track position for that is, and some positions. He's got 4 trucks ahead of him, and it will be more here as they start to pit. So through this cycle, don't want to see a caution. Never want to see it through a green flag pit cycle. You trap a lot of guys a lap down. Right now we're back to the top 9 being the only trucks on the lead lap. Jesse Redding is that last truck on the lead lap, 26 seconds behind Drew Blaze. Again, they're running laps of about 34, 35 seconds right now, so he's got some time before he has to worry about Blaze catching him. But if you're Jesse Redding, you're not going to pit. Likely until Drew Blaze does, unless you absolutely have to. Roger Pierce says, U.S. Navy. So again, he's stationed in Memphis. Slow mode is killing me. I gotta have it on, man. Otherwise, Naked HD kills me. They'll get 5, 6, 7 posts in before I even notice it. Otherwise, I gotta have at least a minute to react. It's that or go to subscriber only, and that just doesn't make people happy. Past halfway here from Homestead, Miami Speedway. Drew Blaze, he hasn't led them all, but pretty damn close. Approaching our second green flag pit cycle. Eight trucks on the lead lap presently. Again, some drivers already opting for pit lane. Bobby Hall Jr. being one, Zach Millett another, Kevin Blue, Matt Daniels. Mike Fahey's been down pit lane for the second time, Joe Tucker as well, PJ Cox. Looks like Dave Ballard is coming back down. No, this is his scheduled stop. Remember, Ballard was in the wall a few laps ago. Gentle contact, enough to throw up some dust. Once again, 4 tires and fuel seems to be the recipe tonight. Ken Couch down pit lane, the 08 Sim Experience Silverado. So talk about Tennessee, Bill Mulfeld out there with a new paint scheme. We thought it was Garza Law, but things have changed up a little bit. As he hits pit lane, Barb's Body Shop. Garza Law on the hood, though. Still sporting the 911. Looks like David Ballard coming back down pit lane. Yes, he is. Now, this is interesting. Maybe he didn't get it full. My only thought is maybe a blend line violation for David Ballard. This might be a penalty he's serving. It does not appear he's taking tires or anything. Been there for about 17, 18 seconds. So, yeah, this is likely a pit penalty, either pit speeding on exit or blend line violation. So we're 88 laps in. Drew Blaze last pit stop, lap 45. So he's likely going to, if he sticks to his same schedule here, he's going to be down here lap 90. Millett pit a little bit sooner than the last time. He was lap 79. He came in at lap 44 or 46. I think it was 46 for Millett. So he's short pitting, kind of undercutting the leader, trying to pick up some track position, throw things off a little bit. Even after this, though, they're going to have at least one more stop. Chris Goins from third. He's in the pit lane. Number 28 I-Lending machine. A lot of rear brake in that Tundra as he locks him up, coming to a stop. Chris Goins clean stop, down and away. 15.2 seconds. So lap 90, Drew Blaze. Will he come this time or wait one more? Gonna go one more, it looks like. Blaze with an 11.7 second advantage over second place Matt Sisler. Sisler is yet to pit this cycle either, but Millett now up to P3. He stopped at lap 79, but he's still a full 26 seconds in the rears. Blaze stays out again. We saw some drivers, I think there was two, that went extra long on that first cycle. I think they made it as far as lap 50, maybe even longer. I think that was Sean Roberts. Yeah, lap 52 was the late stop for Sean Roberts, so I guess we could go to 104 if we had to. At least Sean Roberts, that is. Drew Blaze. So if you add the 52 to his 45, that looks 97. So maybe 5 more laps for Drew Blaze if he really wants to stretch it out. Bobby Hall Jr., first truck 1 lap down as of now. He's in 5th place. Might get this lap back all by himself. Off turn 4, Blaze to the bottom. That's off turn 2, my bad. Tristan Sykes. Yes, I do have the good graphics card. It's not a 40 series, but it's as close as you can get to it without it being a 40. Blaze down pit lane. Finally going to see his pit crew for some attention. And Tristan, I'll be honest, I think half of it's the graphics card and the other half is the iRacing update, because I've had this card now for, I want to say, maybe a month. And I even noticed that since the update, a lot of the textures and the lighting has gotten significantly better in the last 2 races, this being the second. It looks great. I got to admit it. And I'm not losing frame rate, so that's even better. Drew Blaze, 4 tires and fuel. Once again, second green flag stop of the day. We've yet to have a yellow, knock on wood. Blaze is down and away. We are still going to have another stop here before we make it all the way to the end. And even with that extra stop, if they're not careful, depending on when they made this stop, it's still going to be close. So Millet has inherited the top spot with Drew Blaze hitting pit lane. Again, Zach pit at lap 79, Drew Blaze now 93, so 14 lap difference between these two. That is going to be significant as far as lap time is concerned. Again, Millet and Blaze both capable of being plenty quick. Blaze has been top dog most of the night through practice, of course qualifying as well, and most of this race he's been the leader. It's only through the pit cycles that he has not been on point. Curious to see how long Zach can hang on to this spot. Blaze again rejoins the race in the 5th spot. Also unlaps a lot of drivers in doing so. Now we have 11 drivers on the lead lap, back to the 11th spot with Justin Johnson. First truck 1 lap down, Jesse Redding in the 21, so he would be the lucky dog if, and only if, we get a caution. Justin Johnson again running in the 11th position, sporting some Garza Law Firm colors. Matt Daniels still hanging tough there, just outside the top 5, battling with Chris Goins for that position. Goins slides up into P6, but not clear just yet. '28 clears the 5 into turn number 1, move Chris Goins to P6. Fahey, if you're listening, Tristan's here. Mike Fahey and Vincent Short. Oh, this is poor timing. Tristan shows up and he's got Vincent Short right behind Mike Fahey. Short to the outside, looks to the outside, crosses over to the inside. Oh, this is going to be a battle. Fahey stays topside, might have a run out of the corner. Vincent Short pit more recently, 7-lap newer tires, so was actually able to make that move and complete that pass relatively easily. And this is for the 9th and 10th positions. Fahey running 10th, Short now 9th and driving away. Joe Tucker and Ken Couch side by side. This would be for position. Ballard closing in, Chris Goins the same. Ken Goins running in the 6th spot. Out front, though, still Zach Millet with a just shy of 11-second advantage over Drew Blaze, but that is shrinking readily. Again, Blaze pit 14 laps later than Millet, so the tire fall-off certainly starting to rear its ugly head for the 315 as Drew Blaze closing in. I think Zach has kind of made his bet here as far as his pit strategy is concerned. We're just going to have to see how it plays out when we get down to crunch time. So far, again, we've run 102 laps without a single caution flag. Very clean racing here tonight. Drew Blaze off turn 4, closing in on the 21. It's the last truck on the lead lap, or is it? No, Jesse Redding is the first truck 1 lap down, so he would be the lucky dog if we get that yellow. Blaze quickly makes short work of the 21, sets his sights still on the 10, which is actually Matt Minnick Sr., not Justin Johnson tonight. A little bit of a number snafu, no big deal. Jonathan Arnn, Drew is dropping the hammer. Yes, he is on a charge. Again, fresher tires absolutely help, but man, he has been on the move all night long. He's already shaved a couple of seconds into Millett's lead. It's now 7.3 seconds between Blaze and Millett. Blaze runs P2. Now, maximum, I would expect to see Millett make his pit stop here about lap 130, 131. That is strictly based on the long stretch fuel run that Sean Roberts made early on in the race. Again, Millett, he may decide to pit a little bit shorter because he doesn't really have to go that long. If he can go 52 laps on a tank of fuel, granted that might not give you enough for any green-white checkers that may present themselves, but again, looking at past indications of the race so far, 106 laps without a yellow, maybe you don't plan for one. I know things get a little more aggressive later on in the event, but maybe a gamble. You know, we've talked about it so often. We pulled a Larry McReynolds line. If you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. Got to try something. You know, these two, Drew Blaze and Zach Millett, fun to watch race each other. It's kind of trading uppercut to uppercut. But when you're just a tick slower, you got to find a way to make it work. Millett might have to do this on strategy, which in itself is not an easy feat, especially against Drew Blaze. He's so good at saving tires, very good at saving fuel as well, even while being fast, and really pretty good at the strategy game as a whole. So Millett's got his work cut out for him here, as that gap now less than 5 seconds from Millett back to Blaze. Bobby Hall Jr. down pit lane again. He seems to be the first truck to peel off. I'm surprised he's doing it now, though, because at 52, he would have to pit with 6 laps to go based on this. Again, that's, planning on a 52-lap run. That's the longest we saw anybody go, at least on that first stint. That was Sean Roberts. Can't imagine that he just waited till the last second. Again, this might be tire strategy. Maybe he's gambling on getting lucky with a caution. And there's the caution. Joe Tucker in trouble. This might be getting onto pit lane. Yes, it is. So our first yellow of the night, lap 109. Really poor timing, actually, for Bobby Hall Jr. Yes, he can probably make it all the way, but now I think he's going to be a lap down or more. Likely just 1 lap. Yeah, 1 lap down, and Ken Couch and Jesse Redding, the 2 trucks ahead. So he's in trouble here. He's going to need cautions and be the recipient of a lucky dog later on to make this work. Let's take a look, see what happened with Joe Tucker to put us under our first caution of the night. Not sure what he's trying to do here. Yeah, I'm really unsure what this is about. That's not an access road. That's part of the road course. I mean, I'd love to find out what happened here. It's a shame to see this caution-free race go away just because of that, but it is what it is. Drew Blaze in pit lane here. He's down and away. Millett is going to be the first out. Very fast stop for Zach Millett. 14.73 in the box. Drew Blaze a 14.78. Another quick stop for the one. This actually works out best for Zach Millett because it puts him and Drew at least back on equal footing. Where Millett was really losing ground here. Blaze was tracking him down in a big hurry with fresher tires. Now they're on equal footing. Still 57 laps to go. We're going to need another pit stop even when we go back to green unless these guys manage to save a ton of fuel. So with that, we're going to step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with the restart after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Pace cars off, green flag in the air. Millett on the throttle, off and running. Outside lane just doesn't go. Millett with a half-second advantage over Chris Goins. Matt Sisler in third. Drew Blaze slipped back to fourth. Kevin Blue, now Vincent Short into P5. Kevin Blue sixth. Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, Bobby Hall Jr., Jesse Redding. And cautions breed cautions as we've got trouble off turn number 2. Looks like Kevin Grettenberger in the wall. Mike Fahey involved in this as well. So we went the whole race almost with no cautions, and now we've got 2 back-to-back. Again, that's not a terrible surprise. Again, these tires When cold, they don't have tire pressure built to where they need to be, the pristine, optimal racing temperature, and they can be a handful. Let's take a look and see what happened off turn number 2. Grettenberger, the 57. Fahey just ahead. Justin Johnson down low, but no, Fahey just gets loose in mid-corner. Grettenberger tries to go up the racetrack, chooses wrong, gets into the 19. See how it looked from the inside, the onboard of the 57. Looks like Fahey just checked up off the throttle and it lightened up the rear of the truck just enough to get it to spin. Last second decision to go high as that 19 was starting to slide up the racetrack. I think Grettenberger would have been okay if he just held his line or even tried to come down a bit. Last second decisions at speed. Sometimes that's just the way that it goes. Second caution of the day, lap 116. 51 to go. Now, here becomes the question. Now we might be okay to the end. These drivers may not need to pit again, at least for fuel, but is it worth the gamble to try and come down pit lane just for the better set of tires if you don't have to? I don't think it's going to be, but again, cautions may dictate a lot of that. We'll see what happens. Totally different race now. This is basically a 51-lap sprint to the finish. See Zach Millett down way on the apron. He's still trying to save some fuel here. Shortest distance around. I'm sure he's shutting the truck off. In fact, let's ride on board with Zach and listen. Well, he's not hitting the kill switch. He's still running about 500 RPM. He's definitely dumping the clutch. Trying to save what he can here. You know what? Let's take a shot at it. Let's pull Millett up into the booth and get a quick word. Zach, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Just checking in with you here. It's crunch time. We had a long stretch of green flag runs. You were a little off cycle with Drew Blaze there for a little bit. Now you guys are on similar strategies, but I see you're saving fuel. I know with this caution it's going to be awfully close. Can you make it all the way to the end?
Man, it's going to be real tight. It's definitely a different story when you're up here racing. It's going to be really tight. I actually am not 100% sure, so we'll see.
Well, good luck to you. You've got Chris Goins to deal with, Matt Sisler, Drew Blaze, Kevin Blue, all the top 5 drivers. All been pretty strong here tonight. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, man.
See if Millett can balance between racing and fuel conservation. Race car lights are off, so we're going to go back to the green flag the next time by. It'll be lap 119. Field all formed up 2 by 2, getting ready to go back to the green flag. Pace car ducks off the racing surface in pit lane.
Green flag, green flag.
Millett in the throttle. Chris Goins does not get a good jump here. Could have crossed down in front of Sisler, might still have time. Does. Oh, decides better against it. Didn't want to get the bumper from the 93. Might have been okay, but Sisler way down on the bottom off turn number 2. Millett with the advantage, 0.4 of a second back to the 93. Goen slips to third. Like to be right into the clutches of Drew Blaze. Little slip from Chris Goens. Blaze looks to the inside, off the corner. Not enough to make the move to the inside. May have it after the straightaway. Taking a peek down into turn number 3. Goens stays up top. Another battle happening just behind between Kevin Blue and Vincent Short. Blaze disposes of Chris Goens. Justin Johnson making the move for that same position as well. Bobby Hall Jr. has worked his way back to the lead lap. He's taken a spot here from Jesse Redding. Fast truck in that number 94, and watch him work his way through the field. Goens, unfortunately, just not able to get the power down. Outside lane not working for the number 28. Millett out to a full second advantage over Matt Sisler. Vincent Short drives it way deep, almost gets into the back of the 54 of Blue. Cuts it left off the corner. Vincent Short down to the bottom, side by side with Kevin Blue. This would be for position. Thought Short was going to try and use Johnson as a pick there, but he just didn't get the run out of turn 4 to do anything with it. Still side by side down into turn number 1. Justin Johnson drops to the bottom. Johnson running in that 4th position. Vince might have Kevin Blue clear, but now he's immediately got to fight the 10 of Justin Johnson for the spot. See why, because Vincent Short took the opportunity to get, well, maybe that was a splash of fuel, lap 115. 4-second stop for Short, so he is definitely going to be good to go to the end here. At least for fuel. Kevin Blue and Justin Johnson battling. Carnewall, David Ballard, I think. Yes, it was the 90. Got into the fence right side only. A little bit of damage on the number 90 machine. Continues on, no caution. Still the battle on the racetrack. Kevin Blue, Justin Johnson, Matt Daniels in behind watching it all unfold. Slow car just ahead. It looks like Britt Osborne. Britt might have got a piece of the wall. Some damage to the right side of the 421. Very slow through the corner. He's going to try and get down and get the pit lane, I believe. Definitely not at minimum speed. Still a great battle up here. Justin Johnson, it was with Kevin Blue. Now he's got to deal with Matt Daniels. Daniels threads the needle there through the middle of the 10 and the 54. Goes to the bottom. Justin Johnson going to run that mid lane. Try to get a run out of the corner to defend. Daniels slides up the racetrack just a bit. Johnson has the better run out. Daniels gets to the inside again, now down into turn number 1. I think Daniels may have some pace to catch Vincent Short here, but he's got to dispose of the 10. Slides up the racetrack, crossover coming from Johnson. Back to the inside goes Justin Johnson. The 10 trying to battle and keep this spot. They've switched lanes essentially. Johnson now on the bottom, Daniels up top. We'll see if it works out any better for which Toyota, who knows. Speaking of good battles, Mike Fahey here battling with Jesse Redding. Bobby Hall Jr. to his inside as well. Bobby Hall Jr. to the bottom. Fahey goes up top. Now through this, Matt Daniels battling for these spots. He's just trying to get his lap back. He is the first truck one lap down, so if we do get another caution, he would be the recipient of a lucky dog, but he's trying to do it the hard way. Vincent Short trying to get around here for Matt Sisler to take the third position side by side off turn 2. Drag race down the back straightaway. Sisler high side on the Apex Tech Racing F-150. Track Bar Media Chevrolet on the bottom. Still side by side down the front straightaway. Oh, almost contact. Sisler tried to chop the nose of the 15. Seemed like Vince might have cut him a break there. Still 37 laps to go. It's early yet. Sisler in the wall. Sisler scrapes the right side on the safer barrier. It's going to give the position to Vincent Short. Sisler having some trouble there. Johnson got right in the back bumper of the 93 as well, as Sisler was still trying to gather it up. Maintains the 4th spot. Johnson trying to come back here, but now he's got Chris Goins to his inside. He's going to lose the spot to the 28. Johnson drives it way deep, closes in quite a bit on Chris Goins, but I would expect Goins is likely to drive out of the corner a little bit faster. Backed up his entry a bit, better exit. Matt Daniels on the charge, though. Again, not a lead lap truck, but he's certainly fighting to get back up front. Meanwhile, a check on our leaders. Zach Millett still out in front, 2.4 seconds over Drew Blaze. And now on equal footing as far as tire strategy is concerned. It's just a matter of do they have enough fuel to make it to the finish. This is where the advantage could go to Drew Blaze. He's been a master at saving fuel. Stretching that last drop all the way to the checkered flag when you really don't have enough to go the full distance. Drew Blaze has proven he is capable of getting every bit of lappage out of that fuel tank. And you see it right there as Vincent Short really closes in significantly. He doesn't need to worry about fuel in that 15 truck. Again, he buzzed down pit lane to top off the tank under caution. So he should be clean all the way to the finish. Drew Blaze cuts into the deficit by a couple of tenths, now loses it to about a tenth. I think both of these drivers are just trying to match each other here, knowing that they both need to save fuel. Again, pit stops occurring for these top two at lap 109. That's the case all the way back to 7th place with the exception of Vincent Short. Again, he pit at lap 115, as did everyone else from 8th on back. Lead lap truck-wise, I think that's all the way back to PJ Cox. He's 12th. Last truck on the lead lap, he pitted lap 116. So he's got the most fuel to work with. And if you listen, we just heard it as Millett went into turn 1. It's right on board with Zach. Definitely saving fuel. Pushes the clutch all the way in, lets that thing just idle in the middle of the corner until he's ready to pick up the throttle again. It's a Great way to save fuel, lift and coast. Drew Blaze now 2.8 seconds in the rearview mirror. Matt Daniels has made the pass on the one. Again, not for position. He's just trying to get up to Millett and get his lap back. Kevin Blue still putting on a solid performance here tonight, just outside the top 5. Runs in the 6th spot. Bobby Hall Jr. to his back bumper. Justin Johnson also having a great evening here on the 8th position. Mike Fahey, though he was in trouble with a little incident, still in the top 10, runs 9th. And Jesse Redding also having a solid day in the 10th position. Little wiggle for Matt Sisler just ahead of Kevin Blue. You gotta wonder here with Matt Sisler, the battle that he had with Vincent Short early on in this run, did he really abuse those tires? He may free fall through this field, especially if he stay green all the way to the finish. Might fall into the clutches of Kevin Blue here. Blue wants that top 5 position. Sisler taking a peek to the inside of Chris Gones, though. Gones was taking a look to the inside of Drew Blaze. Again, Blaze likely in fuel safe mode as well. He's one of the best of them out there and to do it. Vincent Short up to P2 now. He's gotten by Drew Blaze. Chris Gones pressuring. It's just a matter of how far do you go? How much fuel do you try and save? I mean, if Drew Blaze has all this pace, which he certainly does, how much of it do you give up to save fuel? And how much fuel do you save? That's the problem, is you really don't have a perfect calculation for it. Be ashamed to finish the thing with an extra 2 laps on board and then finish 3rd when you could have pushed a little bit harder, maybe run it right down to the last drop and won the race. But then you get the other side of the coin. Do you push too hard and run it out with half a lap to go? It's quite the conundrum. 25 laps to go from Homestead Miami Speedway. Zach Millett leads. Vincent Short, Drew Blaze, Chris Gones, Matt Sisler, the top 5. Well, Bobby Hall Jr. is battling with Kevin Blue for that top 5 spot. Sorry, that's for the 6th spot. Looks like Sisler took the position back away from Kevin Blue. Sisler continues to fall back. Again, really think he might have just abused the tires a bit too much. You know, Bobby Hall Jr. has gotten around Kevin Blue, and he may do the same here with the 93 in just a lap or 2. Goes to the high side. You can hear Millett go by once again. I don't know if anybody noticed that, just that puff of air going by with no engine sounds. Somehow Millett, while saving fuel the way that he is, still able to extend his lead over Vincent Short. Short loose off of turn number 2, trying to stay off the 5 of Daniels. Again, Daniels not on the lead lap. He's the first truck 1 lap down. He was trying to chase down Millett to get the lap back the hard way. Now he just needs a caution as he's up the racetrack here. Goins in the middle. Vincent Short slides up just a bit off corner exit. Big gaggle of trucks here as they cross the start-finish line. 21 laps to go. I don't know if Drew Blaze is trying to put the power down and make the move here to take the second spot back from Vincent Short. And Matt Daniels is in the wall. Again, no caution, was in there by himself, but it gets him out of the way here with the leaders. Vincent Short now having to deal with Drew Blaze to the outside. I think with 21 laps to go, maybe Drew has realized, you know what? I gotta go. I think I've saved all I can save. It's time to chase down Zach Millett. He's got 3.1 seconds between himself and the leader. See how long it takes him to cut into it. He's already got some time coming into turn number 1. Gains a full 1/10 of a second plus through the middle of 1 and 2. Last lap for Zach Millett was a 35.12. Last lap for Drew Blaze was a 34.95. It's going to need to be quicker than that to track him down with 20 to go, but not a whole lot quicker. Short slipped back to 5th here. Hall now up to, sorry, Short is 4th. Hall battling for that position. Hall's going to have Short clear off of 2 here, it looks like. Sisler giving the 94 a push down the backstretch, but takes a look to the inside. Might have an opening here. We're 3 wide into turn 3. Short up top. Bobby Hall Jr. in the middle. Sisler down low. They get through it, almost contact, but they stay clean. Still side by side for position. Bobby Hall Jr. has to check up to avoid getting into the 15. Sisler's going to take the spot from them both. Brazen move out of the 93 on the bottom. He had the preferred lane to do it. Bobby Hall Jr., the short end of the stick here. He's going to lose a couple of spots. Ooh, contact with Vincent Short. Bobby Hall Jr. is in the wall. Can only assume that Bobby Hall Jr. took exception to that level of aggression from Vincent Short. It is late in the race. It is time to go, but Bobby Hall Jr. does not seem too pleased about it. Looked like he got to the back bumper of Vincent Short, then he ended up in the wall. Of course, just could be close, hard racing here late at Homestead Miami Speedway as the 94 now battles with Kevin Ballou. Kevin's got the 8th spot. Bert Osborne, slow truck up top, stays out of the way of this battle. Bobby Hall Jr. slips to the bottom. Kevin Ballou slides up the racetrack, almost contact with Vincent Short. A little loose for Short on corner exits. Can open the door once again for Bobby Jr. .15 laps to go. Millett still with the lead. Drew Blaze 2.2 seconds in the rearview mirror, but certainly cutting into that gap significantly. Last lap for the leaders, 35.08 for Zach Millett, 34.88 for Drew Blaze. Keeps up that pace, Drew Blaze has time. It's going to be close, but he has time. It's right on board with Millett again, see if he's still saving. He is. So that becomes the question, is how long does Millett save? How long does he have to save to make it all the way to the end without a pit stop? We know Drew Blaze, he had saved quite a bit. It seemed that he was content back there 3rd, 4th, 5th in that range. Then all of a sudden, hammer down, starts making his way towards the front, and he's cut almost a full second into Millett's lead here with now 13 laps to go. This time by, Millet a 35.08, Blaze a 35.09. No gain that lap for Drew Blaze. You see the deficit has shrunk, though, through 1 and 2. Blaze with relatively no pressure out the back window. 3 to 4 truck lengths between himself and third place Chris Gones. Then it's Matt Sisler and Sean Roberts, the top 5. Now, as soon as I say that, that battle heats up with Sean Roberts. That's Kevin Blue now working his way back into the top 5, or is he still side by side at the stripe? Down into 1, Blue has the bottom lane. Sean Roberts goes topside. Battle continues. Roberts to the inside now. Blue up top and kind of switched lanes. Bobby Hall Jr. sitting there hoping for an incident between these two so he can take full advantage. Roberts is going to clear Kevin, take the spot. Kevin's going to try and battle back, but now he's going to watch out for Bobby Hall Jr. because he's closing in as well. 10 laps to go, and the deficit from Millet to Blaze, 1.2 seconds. Big change. The 911 of Bill Molfeld there in the middle. Blaze is going to have to make short work of him and continue towards the front to track down the 315. May have been where that deficit was chewed up. I don't know if Millet had trouble getting around Molfeld there or not. And Molfeld's last stop was at lap 149, so he's got fresh rubber underneath that truck, so he's on a charge. And in fact, really, Millet can probably pull a draft here a little bit. That may help him slightly, but the deficit from Millet to Blaze now under a full second. So work down the back straightaway, 8.5 laps to go. Millet drops to the bottom as to not get any draft issues, but it doesn't matter. Third caution of the day on the Speedway. It looks like Jesse Redding has crashed. Trouble for the diehard number 21. Take a look, see what happened with Jesse Redding. This eliminates all of the fuel questions. See Jesse Redding there on the bottom side behind Mike Fahey, right in the center of your screen, the number 21. Just a little bit of an overcorrection. Oh, he gets stuck right in the wall. Ken Couch goes right underneath him. So our third caution of the night at an opportune moment. Here come the leaders. This is the money stop for Zach Millet and Drew Blaze, and even Chris Gones. No mistakes. It cannot happen. There's not enough time to recover from it. Right side tires for Millet. Does he take 2? We talked about it early. No. 4 tires. Drew Blaze, also 4 tires. Who's going to have the win out of pit lane here? Zach Millet wins the race out of pit lane. Drew Blaze is going to start to his outside. I'll tell you, if I'm Drew Blaze, I think he's shaking his head here. I almost think he wants to start third. He should have let Chris Gones just go. Because truthfully, the outside truck, and again, it's by design, doesn't have a great opportunity at the restart. We will have some laps to go when we get going, but Millet, he can fire off right away, and then Blaze is just going to have to track him back down. He's had the pace all night long. Spent most of that run saving fuel, thinking we were going to make it all the way without another yellow. It didn't happen. Third caution of the night came out. So now we get to see this battle straight up. It'll be a shootout to the finish between Blaze and Zach Millett. You never know. Maybe things happen between these two. They come together and this falls in the lap of Chris Goins or Bobby Hall Jr., even Matt Sisler. They've all been fast tonight. Sean Roberts still hanging tough there in the 6th position. Vincent Short is 7th. Justin Johnson, Mike Fahey, Kevin Blue, all these drivers having a solid night tonight. Of course, the spammers have to jump in here right as we're getting to crunch time to this race coming down a last handful of laps. Trying to clear it out of there. Now, if we do get another caution, we will get a green-white checkered finish. We have the opportunity to try that twice. So the green flag would come out, then the white flag, then the checkered flag. Once the field takes the white, that about ends it. There's no way that they're going to throw a yellow if there's a wreck. Of course, there's no real safety concerns here in sim racing. So if they wreck into turn 3 or turn 2 even on the final lap, drivers are going to race back to the finish line to settle it. Got some guys laying back here. Get it tightened up, boys. Green flag in the air. Millett with a good jump. Not a terrible restart for Drew Blaze, though, given what you're faced to deal with there. He got off pretty decently. Chris Goins, though, is going to go to the bottom, take the 2nd spot away from Blaze, but for how long? We've got 4 laps to go. Millett out in front. Blaze way up top. He's going to have a big run down the backstretch here. He's got Sean Roberts to the inside, and Blaze scrapes the right side against the wall. That's going to kill the momentum. This is not good for the one. Drew Blaze slipping back through the field here, already back to the 5th spot, battling to the outside of Sean Roberts. Gets a nose out in front for 4th. Three laps to go from Homestead Miami Speedway. Zach Millett started from the tail of the field. Strategically has worked his way up towards the front. Has not been the fastest of trucks on light. That title seems to belong to Drew Blaze, but right now he's got work to do. He's in the 4th spot here with 2.5 laps to go. He's got a fast Matt Sisler just in front of him. He's going to battle hard for that position. Across the stripe, Blaze still sits 4th. Meanwhile, the battle, Zach Millett and Chris Goins going at it with 2 laps to go. Goins putting on a late charge here, putting the pressure on. Does he have Millett clear? Not quite. Down the backstretch, they drag race down into turn number 3 for the lead at Homestead Miami Speedway. Side by side, looking for a white flag the next time by. Millett powers to the outside, puts a nose out in front, coming to the stripe. White flag is in the air. Last lap from Miami. Chris Goins just won't go away. Could Matt Sisler pick this up if these guys have a problem? Goins out in front, crosses over. Big run coming from the 315. He drops down low to the bottom. Final lap Final two corners for Zach Millett and Chris Gones. Now Gones to the outside. He may have the run out of turn 4. He slips up the racetrack just a bit. Opens the door for Sisler. Off turn number 4, checkered flag waves. Zach Millett's going to win it over Chris Gones. Third place is Matt Sisler, Drew Blaze, and Sean Roberts, your top 5. Thrilling finish here from South Beach. Zach Millett with yet another win on the season here in the Lonestar Racing Truck Series. Great battle between these two last couple of laps. Zach Millett, you're in the draft feature winner. Big celebration here on the front straightaway. Top 3 lining up on the line. Always cool to see. With that, we're going to jump out here, get a break out of the way. We will return with Zach Millett, Chris Gones, and Matt Sisler in the booth. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Homestead Miami Speedway. The Heart of Renee Etsy 249 is in the books, and Zach Millett is your race winner, 0 to hero here in South Beach. Zach, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, man, got a copy.
Dude, congratulations, man. I know you are tired and tired and tired. I think you've been up for like 2 days between work and family, kids getting sick, and the whole 9 yards. First of all, I don't know how you're awake right now, but walk us through your race, man. You had to go to the back, the EOL, to start the thing off. Next thing you know, you're up in the top 10 and challenging for positions. Then you're there challenging for the lead, and then off cycle with the pit stops. Walk us through your game plan for tonight, if you even had one, and then that last 4-lap shootout to the finish with Chris Goins.
Well, first and foremost, big thanks to Monster Energy and Rockstar Energy. Hint, hint, sponsor, hint. Keeping me alive here, man. You know, the one thing that came to mind when I decided to short pit on that mid run there was the old saying, you know, if you're going to follow the leader, you're just going to follow the leader. And with Drew Blaze, you're going to follow him because he's not going to make a mistake. So I knew he was faster. Short run, mid run, long run, he's faster everywhere. So we had to change it up, take a stab at it. That's all we really had. So when that caution came out at the end, I was pretty surprised. You know, that long green flag run in the beginning, I thought it was just going to go green to the end. And he was catching me. He was catching me whenever he wanted. He kind of let me go and conserve enough fuel, I think, to where he could make it. And then he just went pedal to the metal and decided to catch me. So I was conserving the whole time. I was 0.1 pretty much the entire time. So even if he got to me, I'd probably have to just let him go, you know, get a top 5. But yeah, it was a stab in the dark, man. I'm pretty shot right now.
Well, we did ride with the onboard for a little bit. We heard you clutching it into just both corners on entry. You were definitely doing a good job doing the lift and coast bit. But I think Drew was doing the same thing, at least for quite a while. Then he got mired back, I think, about the 4th spot. And then he's like, you know what? It's time to go. And I don't know if he just had enough fuel or if it was a matter of, you know what? I'm going to gamble here on a caution because he was closing in fast. Yellow comes out. You guys obviously come down pit lane and throw out some masterful pit stops. Very quick stop. I think a 14.75 was your money stop, and then a 15.28 for Drew Blaze. So that certainly did not help him. You got out first, restarted as the leader, and then we saw Chris Goins go to battle with you. Now, I don't know if there was a mental error on your part, being, well, as tired as you are, and it got him to the inside, or if he was just saving something for the end, because we didn't see it develop. We just saw the better half of it. Walk us through what happened there with Chris Goins and yourself with about 2 to go.
Well, when we actually came across for the white flag, he was right there. I was really only comfortable in 1 and 2 up top, and I knew if I gave him a lane up top, he would have got the run coming off too, and he would have had choice to go high or low on me. So I committed to the top. Even if he cleared me, you know, I knew I could get back to him. But then, you know, me being tired hit me, and he went high right where I wanted to go. So brilliant part on his part, and it just I sent it in. The only hope I had was to send it in full bore and stab the brakes, not hit him. But I think he did the same thing, and we just got to the gas a little quicker. But we came across the line for the white flag. I mic'd up and I said, Chris, whatever happens, just send it, buddy.
Full send, baby. That's awesome. It was fun to watch. Certainly made, I don't know, these races that run green to checker, I was kind of hoping to see it. Once we had the caution with Joe Tucker, I didn't feel so bad about a couple of cautions after that because it certainly shaped the balance of the race. We had a great finish with you and Chris Goins. I was really hoping to see the battle between you and Drew Blaze develop. It just wasn't meant to be tonight. But either way, you end up in victory lane, so congratulations for that. We're going to let you get out of here, get some rest, but who do you have to shout out to besides Monster and Rockstar Energy?
Yeah, I might, if I have any chance for a sponsorship, I'll just go ahead and mention them again. Monster Energy, Rockstar Energy. Big thanks to you guys. Hint, hint, sponsor. Thank you, Steve, and HBR TV for the broadcast, as always. LSR for having this league. I mean, we've been having some pretty epic finishes lately, and it really doesn't get much better. So I'm really looking forward to Sonoma next week. That's going to be awesome. I know you understand that, being a road course guy.
100%.
Yep. Then Track Bar Media, of course. I'd like to thank Brian for not being here, because I'm sure he'd be up here stressing us out. And shoot me a follow on Twitch and YouTube. We're streaming this crazy stuff every night at That Is 4 Guy.
I'm telling you, man, you got to have cue cards.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I hate to say this on air, but I do actually have a dry erase board to my left.
Congratulations, Zach, your winner here tonight. Heart of Renee at C249. Good luck next week at the road course.
Thanks, man.
Zach Millett, we're going to go to Chris Goins next and get his perspective on those last couple of laps. Chris, it's Steve in the HBR TV broadcast booth. You got a good copy?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, I got you.
Chris, solid run here tonight. You were up in that top 5, top 10 for the majority of the evening and put a charge on late against Zach Millett. Thought you might have had something for him there. It was side by side at the white flag, just not quite enough. Walk us through that final restart and the last couple of laps as you battled with Zach Millett for the win here at Homestead.
Yeah, so well, coming out of the pits, came out third, which is where I went in, but I knew that restarting behind Zach was more of a benefit than being to the outside. So, you know, I knew if I could just keep up with him on the restart, I would be, you know, maybe I could at least stay to his bumper and keep it interesting and maybe score top 3. But he wobbled a little bit in 3 and 4 on that lap, and was able to run side by side with him for the first time all night. It stuck on the bottom for me. I don't know where it came from, but and then that last lap coming off of 2, I cleared him. I moved to the wall to try and slow down his momentum a little bit, but before I could get back down to the bottom to kind of cover the bottom, he was already crossing me over, and I didn't want to take us both out. I'd rather finish second than send us both into the infield and into the hospital. So.
Well, Millett did mention in our interview that as you guys crossed the line for the white, he said, whatever happens, send it. And I don't know if maybe you didn't hear that or not, but he gave you permission to drive it like a crazy person. Did you hear him or no?
Oh no, I heard him. I couldn't reach the button to say something back to him, but no, and I did. I sent it into 1, and I think that's how I cleared him coming off of 2. But you know, at the end of the day, the season it's a cumulative total. I knew, you know, obviously Brian had other obligations and stuff, so I knew that a top finish would help me in the points. So, you know, not that I was points racing, because I definitely wanted the win, but I didn't block him like I would have if I had been 15th in points. So, but you know, I'll take a second. Hey, anytime I can race with these guys up here with Zach, and Drew was fast, and Sisler and all those guys. I mean, anytime I can finish in the top 5 here, I'll take it as a win. So
whole top 5 in general was pretty solid and fast tonight, so that was very impressive. Again, just 1 short, finishing second to Zach Millett. No small feat. Again, congratulations. Looked real sharp out there, real fast. We're gonna let you go and get to Matt Sisler, but before we do, anyone you want to shout out to?
Yeah, just thank Islanding for being on the truck. You guys, HBR TV, for broadcasting these races. Guys over at Right Turn Racing. You know, Hostile Intent Gaming. Yep, just looking forward to next week. I think we're back on the road course next week, so we'll see how that goes.
Going to Sonoma, California, out in wine country next week. Chris, you've done a little bit of road racing. What are your thoughts about rolling this truck out there next week? You got good opportunity for a solid top 5 again?
I would like to think so. I love Sonoma. I don't know that I've driven a truck out there. If I have, it hasn't been very often. So there'll be a lot of practice time going in this week to try and, you know, figure that out. I've run the next gen cars out there, but these trucks are quite a bit different. So we'll see. I'm hoping to put something together and score a good finish there next week too.
All right, Chris. Well, good run here tonight. Good luck next week at Sonoma. Thanks for talking to us.
I appreciate it, Steve.
It's Chris Goins, your runner-up here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Next, we're going to go to the number 93 of Matt Sisler. Pull him into booth. Matt, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, Steve, I got a copy. How are you?
I'm doing well, sir. Congratulations on a solid top 3 finish here tonight. You were a strong truck all night long, driving with reckless abandon. I wouldn't say that was driving over your head at all, but you were doing a really good job keeping the spots that you had, fighting back for what you wanted, not taking any prisoners, man. You were a solid run out there. It was fun to watch. Tell us about your race.
Well, I appreciate that. I wasn't 100% sure exactly how well we would do. I somehow tend to run pretty well here, but you know, I have a tendency to lose it late, and then yeah, I was just trying to stay on strategy with Zach, Chris, Drew. You know, Drew especially, because he had I think if we go green all the way, I think Drew might win it because he just had the truck to beat. But I was just trying to stay on strategy, and then we got that caution like at lap 120. I'm not 100% sure what that was for, and then it was like, well, this is becoming a lot more interesting. And that last run was fuel saving all the way, and I was just to the good. I don't know if I had enough to get by the two guys ahead of me. I'm not sure Zach had enough if we had gone green, but and then it turned into a sprint, and that sprint was a whole lot of fun. Just didn't quite have enough at the end to get him, but about second last week at Phoenix, third here at Homestead. We'll definitely take it.
Things are certainly coming together, and yeah, tonight was it was a great race. It had a little bit of everything. You had the fuel strategy and tire strategy. Obviously, no one's taken two, but you really did have to take care of those things throughout the course of the run, or you're going to free fall like a rock in the lake. Did you experience any of that? We saw some cases where it seemed that you were pretty aggressive early on in a run and then got mired back in traffic. Was that a matter of just heating the tires up too much, or saying, I better save these things for later on?
It was really like the first lap or two, I would try to get what I could on a start, just because I wanted to get the nose in clear air in case there was a wreck behind. I wanted to have anything that could happening behind me. But after a few laps, it was really just like, okay, let's just take care of the tires. Let's just not burn the Eagles up and try to make it run as long as we can. And then that last run for sure, where before the caution with 8 to go, I think that helped me a little, because I'd already been doing tire conservation, and then all I had to do was just kind of back it off a little more on entry to try to lift, coast, save just a little more on that. So yeah, I mean, it's also early on in runs, I'm not the most comfortable with the truck. Before the pressures come up, I'm a little it's a little free, and I've had a nasty tendency at Homestead in these things to loop it, trying to push it too hard early on a run. But yeah, I mean, it was just get what I could get early, and then try to conserve and see how long we could make it work, and hopefully we could start to reel the guys back in who ran their stuff off too much early.
Well, you put a whole race together, nicely done, a top 3 finish, good momentum going into Sonoma next week. Tell us about Sonoma. I mean, do you have any experience on road course? Is it something you're looking forward to? Do you expect to be in the top 5 next week?
Sonoma is, I hope to be up there. I mean, Watkins Glen was a really nice shot in the arm to get second behind Zach, who almost lapped the entire field, but we won't discuss that.
You brought it up. You brought it up.
I know. But I mean, Zach's always gonna be the guy to beat. But Sonoma's a different beast than Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen's definitely more free flowing and fast. Sonoma can be a little stop start, especially if we're running the cup layout where you have the short chute instead of the carousel. But I think it's a track that definitely, with my road racing, a little bit of road racing background, it should help. I think I'd like to hope top 5, qualify up as high up the field as we can, and then hopefully just make the right calls on race day, and maybe be able to bring it home. Would like to be top 5, maybe on the podium again.
Well, Matt, again, congratulations here tonight at Homestead Miami Speedway with the top 3 finish. We're going to let you go here, but before we do, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the guys at Apex or ATRS Esports and ATRS Racing for putting together, putting this awesome truck, the paint job, the Oshleray Designs, our title sponsor, Apex Technologies US, Apex Tech Racing Supply. I actually have the truck pulled up so I can actually read the sponsors off the side of it.
You're cheating.
Hey, it's not cheating. It's just having a list. VPC, Pro Sim Rig, Precision Sim Engineering, Meridian, TPI, and HD Anywhere. And I know I probably missed one, and my team boss will probably call me on it if you watch this. But hey, I mean, and also, before I forget, you for doing an awesome broadcast, Steve. You always do a great job with these things.
Well, Matt, thanks for the kind words, man. Congratulations again on P3. Good luck next week out in wine country, and have a good rest of the night, man. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, no problem. You have a good week, and we'll see you in wine country.
That was Matt Sisler, your third place finisher here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Got the interviews out of the way here. Let's take a look at our race results. The rest of the field. Of course, Zach Millett, Chris Goins, Matt Sisler, your top three. Drew Blaze finishes P4. Again, certainly not the finish that he, honestly, I think he deserved. He was lights out all night long, fastest in practice, won the pole. I think he's got the most laps led tonight. I got to go back and look to see who had the fastest lap, but Drew Blaze was the man to beat tonight, and that late caution just definitely bit him. Starting on the outside as the second place machine does not help, and just not enough time to make it back up. So fourth place finish for Drew Blaze. Still a solid top five, but I can just bet that he was hoping and praying he'd end up with a checkered flag here tonight. Just wasn't meant to be. Sean Roberts was fifth. A solid run for the Shenandoah Shine machine. Vincent Short, again, another solid top six finish for the number 15. Justin Johnson was seventh. Bobby Holt Jr. was eighth. Matt Daniels, ninth. Mike Fahey brought it home with the top 10. Didn't wad up the truck, Tristan. Your influence is starting to run a little dry. PJ Cox was 11th. Kevin Blue, a solid run all night long. He did mention a bit of a kerfuffle, I guess you could say, with Justin Johnson to put him back in that 12th place finishing position post-race. Ken Couch was 13th. Thomas Hall was 14th. Chad Martin finished in the 15th spot. Jesse Redding was 16th. Bill Molfeld, the 911, finished 17th. Matt Minnick Sr. was 18th. Britt Osborne was 19th. Kevin Grettenberger was 20th. 21st was Bill Martin. 22nd, David Ballard. Joe Tucker was 23rd. Chris Elliott, 24th. Alan Duranco was 25th. Jonathan Arn, credited 26th. 166 laps down. Did not take the green flag. Not sure why with the 43. Typically used to seeing him out here. Hope to see him next week at Sonoma. But that's your race results here from Homestead Miami Speedway. Of course, Zach Millett victorious. Congratulations to him. Thank you guys all for tuning in tonight. Had a good bunch of you in the stream. Not a ton of you in the stream chat. Of course, we had some spammers. We won't count them. But guys, like I said, always feel free to chime in the stream chat whenever, wherever. Keep it PG, but whatever it is. Tell us who you're cheering for, where you're watching from. One of these days, I won't screw that up. Any just general comments, where's so-and-so running? What's Kevin Blue doing? Where's Jesse Redding? Whatever. Feel free to chime in. I may not necessarily see it right away, but especially on the slower races, long green flag runs like we had tonight certainly helps out. We had Chris Fahey in the stream chat thanking us for the broadcast. Thanks, Chris, for chiming in. Nikki Short, of course, always a loyal follower. She chimes in every once in a while. Don't know if Vince is getting an IV right now. He might need it after that run, but a good run for Vince. But again, thank you guys all for doing it. And if you haven't already done so, please give us a like, a follow, or share, subscribe at HBRTV1, youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. You see it there on the bottom of the screen in the race results. That is where we do our live broadcasts from, but we also have a Facebook page. The links get posted there. Occasional posts for different things once in a while. Nothing too crazy. We won't blow up your phone with notifications, but that is facebook.com/HBRTV and the number 1. There's no @ symbol on the Facebook side, just on YouTube. But either way, give us a like. That really does help us. It pushes this broadcast a little bit further down to wider audiences, and it certainly helps the channel across the board. It helped us last night. We had a broadcast for the Super Late Model Series, the Gulf Coast Sim Racers. We've never done a broadcast for them in the past. I don't know any of those guys, and they reached out to us and said, hey, can you help us out here last minute? They reached to me on Tuesday. Wednesday, we were doing a broadcast. We got it together, and I owe it really to just the exposure we get here on social media. So again, keep it up. Like, follow, share, subscribe. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends, tell the dog. I don't care. If he chimes in, he's got a phone, he can watch too. It's no big deal. All right, I got to go to bed after that one. That one bombed. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.